You can extend your terminal so you can see. So while you are typing the code, you can see the error if you are making a mistake. And that's actually the part of the software engineering, the best practices. They go through the error, they debug this, and they see the error. So they read what is the error. It seems like the throw new type error. That's actually the telling in the router.use. Require a middleware function, but got a .get type.
Okay, router.use. Okay, let's see. Express.router. Router.post. Requires a middleware function.
So I thought you need to write the middleware function to actually drive the traffic, drive the request through.
One second. Requires a middleware function. Is it in here? Okay, this is unexpected.
So don't you have to create a middleware function? It tells you you can do without middleware function, but it tells you you have to create a middleware function.
I previously did it without the middleware.
Got it.
So that's why I'm just kind of surprised. Let me just look at let me just make sure the package.json. Request is also here.
Yeah, Pratik will join.
I'm actually not too sure what's happening here. Okay, give me just 1 second. Let me just.
So this is the best practices of a software engineering. So when you have this, you'll be the debugging, you'll be reading, you'll be like doing some Google search. You will go back to you will take the message and that's exactly your best practices. You will not be panicking, or you'll not be doing. And of course, there was the review button, the resolve button. That's the where your the senior software engineer will review your code.
Oh, okay, I think I was missing the S.
Nice.
See, just one letter, and it took like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, so now, so sorry for the delay, everyone. So
You're good. That's
yeah,
that's how it should be.
yep, this is the part of the process basically. So yeah, so basically, so just to recap, we created our create product function. We connected it to our endpoint, and then which is the create, and then we basically connected it to the server.js. So now we can basically test it out in Postman. So
at this moment, our backend is fully done, because we do not have any front end. So for the testing, you can use so many tools. You can use the rest assured, you can use the Postman, you can use the ready API. There is hundreds of testing tool to test the backend API. In this case, we are going to use the Postman. It is widely open and the open source. So we are actually going to use this.
so
Of course, we are going to create we are going to just same way create a feature called the product, and then we are going to create the collection by the user story name. So give the user story number. So your user story number is the 173. Create a product.
Create product.
In the beginning should be 173.
173.
Yep, that's good. So now just create the positive and create the negative, and then bring the endpoint. Oh, you did not expose you did not implement the Swagger. So go
Swagger,
back.
yeah.
Yes, so most of the project we need to implement the Swagger, so that we don't need to go back to the developer to ask the question. So what did the API look like? What did the payload is? What does it do? How the 200 works? How the 400 works? Forget about all this. So we implement the backend engineer also implement the Swagger that will actually tells us about the details of any given endpoint. So let's go with implement the Swagger in the project. The Swagger is implemented by the backend in the code base.
Okay, so should we implement the Swagger now?
Yes, please. Is it longer time? Does it take?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, that's fine, because it will go. So today is kind of the boilerplate, because next week we will be just the creating another user story update. The next week we'll be creating another user story like the delete. So we are going to use the same project, but the code will be updated, and then we'll start the developing the front end.
So for the Swagger, we have to basically install some packages.
So again, since we are using the Node.js based environment, so everything you have to type npm, because that's all the package manager, all the package will go.
Okay.
So now we are going to see in the package.json, we are going to see the Swagger is already installed. Yep. So they see this Swagger -js doc, Swagger -autogen, Swagger -ui, so -express. So this actually once you install the npm, these three things has been added on the package.json. So now we can implement the Swagger for this endpoint we have just developed.
So let's just do Swagger.js. Okay. Okay, so first of all, in the server.js, we're going to require the packages. So Swagger JS doc equals to require Swagger dash JS doc. And then we're also going to do the same for the Swagger UI. That's also a package that we installed. And then UI dash express. And this is going to be for the Swagger config. And then Swagger dash config dot JSON. And okay, so in the swagger.json,
Excuse me.
yes.
Hey, Aman. In the server.js, I think you spelled it as CONGIG for config.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
So when it comes to explaining how to implement Swagger, there's actually not much to explain because it's just basically convention. So we're going to require Swagger dash autogen. Then we're going to do const and the output file. And then go into the Swagger dash output. And then for the endpoints file, routes. And then I'm going to pass in the output file as well as the endpoints file. This is basically all like Google stuff. This is basically it's everywhere on Google.
So basically, if you guys read every day, we update the daily work stream. You see this, we add the Swagger URL, means the more API we are creating, that we are adding the Swagger documents. So basically that helps the front-end developer, mobile app developer, desktop app developer to read the API endpoint, and they actually identify the payload details before they actually start implementing. And even before they implement, they actually tried out, means they actually tried out on the Swagger, or they actually tested out on the Postman, so that then they can start implementing this endpoint on their client end, which is the mobile app, desktop application, or other application, or the website.
So right now, I just created a Swagger dash config.json file. That's basically where we're going to be specifying the routes and whatnot. So we have the info inside. We're going to do the version 0.0.0, and then we're going to give it a title of products API. And then with a description, API documentation for the products project. I'm going to give it a host name. So our host name is basically, I think we're doing it on localhost 4000.
So it will be, once we deploy, then the host name will be different. So it will be,
Yes.
it will be handled different way when the cloud ops engineer actually deploy this on the cloud. on the other server.
And then we're going to do HTTP. And now we're going to set up the paths. So now we only specified one path, so which is the create endpoint.